Getting ready to go now. Day number 3, the Bassmaster Elite season opener, Cherokee Lake, East Tennessee. A place the elites have never been before, a place that is turning out to be plenty challenging for this field. I can tell you right now that you can look at everyone who's left in this thing, the 51 anglers, and just know this tournament is still completely up for grabs. Get ready to go, Bassmaster Live. We are racked up and ready to roll through this day, this important day 3.
God, it's another big one. He's in the boat. Yes. Wow. Yes. Oh my God. He is our champion, ladies and gentlemen.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
A good Saturday morning to you, and you know what Saturday morning means on the Bassmaster Elite Series? It's moving day. You have to put it all out on the table. You got to go from somewhere in the top 51 all the way into the top 12 if you would be the person who grabs the first trophy of this 2017 Bassmaster Elite Series year. We got 51 anglers who fish their way to this day in days that are changing, conditions that are changing. Tommy Sanders here with Mark Zona. It seems like every day is its own tournament.
No doubt about it, Tommy Sanders. We've had big weather shifts. We're going to get into that. We're going to get into really how they caught them yesterday, or how they did not catch them yesterday.
Plenty of that.
And we're going to start breaking down some of the areas that these smallmouth are hanging in. But those largemouth in Cherokee are not quite disappearing yet.
Not quite disappearing yet. That was the fear. Now, we welcome all of you here to the Toyota Bassmaster Studios here in Little Rock, Arkansas. Tommy Sanders and Mark Zona, the rest of the crew, we'll get to them in just a minute. A big team ready to go, ready to roll here. We rolled it out what they were doing. The majority of these players yesterday, are they still going to be doing the same thing today in general terms?
There's going to be a lot of the guys that we're on today are going to be fishing vertical again. But really the story of this tournament so far is no doubt from Alabama rookie Jesse Wiggins and what he did really in the Open Series into his first Bassmaster Elite Series. His sole focus, it appeared to be, was to cash a $10,000 check. Well, he did that, and now he's looking on to what potentially he can get done in this tournament.
The way this lake seems to be changing hour by hour, that may be the best possible plan of action. Hey, deal with get every obstacle lined up and get the first one out of the way first.
And the other side of it is, the parity that we have in the top 10, you cannot ask for a better mix for the first tournament of the year, whether it's the local David Mullins or guys like Ott Defoe that know so much about this lake. And then you've got lions in the weeds like
Randall Tharp
creeping around.
Boy, it's gonna be the top 12, a very dangerous top 12, and we're gonna have only 12 left by the time we finish the fishing today. Gonna be with you with Bassmaster Live, 6 hours worth of coverage today here, and we'll take a break right in the middle, much as we did yesterday. Thanks for joining us early. Let your friends know we're on earlier all year long, and that's especially today and tomorrow. Get with us right now, and we'll take you through the day. We got Davey Hyde out here too. That's another reason to stay with us. There's Davey Hyde out there with our leader, Jesse Wiggins. Davey, you got the man. Let's see what he's got to say.
I've got the man. You're right, Tommy. Things have definitely been changing here. The weather yesterday morning was 22 degrees. This morning is 54 degrees. The one thing that hasn't changed is the leader, Jesse Wiggins.
Yeah, I feel good. First tournament in the late series career, and I'm going out in first place on the third day. I couldn't really ask for anything more. I just got to go out there and catch a few today, but I'm really looking forward to it.
All right, I got to ask you one thing. To be totally honest with me now. It's been pretty easy for you, hasn't it? This is your 9th Bassmaster tournament. You've won 2 of the Opens that you fished, and you're leading from the get-go and holding on to the lead in the first Elite. How's it feel? It's kind of easy for you, isn't it?
It looks easy, but I mean, I put in my time just like everybody else, but I told my camera guy yesterday, I was like, I don't know if I'm getting lucky or what's going on, but I just don't want it to stop. But I work just as hard as everybody else out here, but I have been blessed though to have this success this early in my career.
You showed what a nice guy you are yesterday. You had a friend of yours that came up and he needed to catch a fish or two, and you got the leading spot that you were guarding, and you just let him in. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that's Matt Lee. I room with him all the time, and he would do the same for me if I needed to fish. I know he would, and he actually let me borrow his boat at Harris Chain when I still had my old boat. His had power poles, and I felt like I could maximize my area the third day at Harris if I had his boat. And he let me borrow it, and I won that tournament, so I owed him one.
All right, you're such a nice guy. We got the second place guy right over here, and he's having some difficulties this morning. His boat's not working. He might have to swap boats. Would you give him your boat this morning?
I don't know if I can do that this morning. I need to win this one.
I hear you. We've got Tripp's telling us we got to go, but what we've had happen, Tommy, is somehow Jacob has had a few issues this morning, and he's having to swap boats. It's kind of been chaotic at takeoff.
All right, Davey. Well, we actually two rookies. One of them, Jacob Wheeler, not a real rookie in the way that we define it with the Bassmaster. He's already won $1 million plus over on the FLW. But two rookies squaring off for the first title of the year. And Davey, you guys are excellent judges of talent. You can take all the info, the data that's out there, and say, I know for a fact now, I'm comfortable with saying this guy is a fantastic angler. What's the core of that with Jesse?
Natural. And here's the best way to describe that. That's a vague, goofy word, but you look at certain fishermen that are just naturally good anglers. You look at a Greg Hackney, you look at an Aaron Martins, you look at, and I'm dead serious when I say this. If you look at Jesse Wiggins, he has David Dudley tendencies.
Okay, that's
He's
a great
analogy.
analogy.
He's just a dude that shows up and catches them, and I'm going to tell you, when I talked to the Lee brothers before this tournament started, and we talked about this yesterday, Jordan Lee looked at me and he said, I'm going to tell you, Jesse Wiggins is one of the best natural fish finders and fish catchers you guys are going to end up ever covering.
All right. Dave Mercer's out there, too, just like yesterday, getting ready to go, getting ready to send these guys. Would you agree with that assessment of Jesse Wiggins? I mean, he's the talk of the town. I want your take on it, too, Dave.
He's the toast of the town.
He's the toast and the talk of the town.
He is definitely the talk of the town. Jesse Wiggins, when you think about it, right now, just think about it now. I know it's only the third day of the 2017 season, but he is the only dude on earth that is qualified for the 2018 Classic, or the first dude to do it. He is leading the Rookie of the Year race. He's leading the Angler of the Year. He's leading the tournament. Life is good for Jesse Wiggins, and in a very, very big way. All the locals, the area he's fishing, guys, we've talked about this a lot, is not a secret. A lot of the locals around here know of that area, and I've asked them, can it hold out? I mean, when you see a guy that's managing his spots that early in the tournament, that is always the question. How long can this last for? Well, the locals looked to me and said, he is going to catch them all 4 days. The one thing they said is if he puts too much pressure on him, that weight may drop a little bit, but I think Jesse Wiggins knows a thing or two about handling those fish, and he's going to manage it. These guys are going to have to fend him off, but what a career, what a kickoff to his career. Incredible. I mean, already won 2 opens. He's qualified for 2 Bassmaster Classics that the dude hasn't even fished yet. He's already qualified for the 2017 Classic and the 2018 Classic. So life is very, very good to be Jesse Wiggins. You guys heard a little bit about what was going on with Jacob Wheeler. He had some electronical issues and was about to pull out of the water, literally backed his trailer down here, about to throw it on the rack and go up to the service crew. Luckily, he got it fixed, but wow, is this kid ever posed? I mean, Jacob Wheeler, as we've said, is no rookie at all. It's his first season here in the Elite Series, but over $1 million in earnings in the FLW Tour. And you saw that poise here just a few minutes ago. I mean, I'll tell you right now, if that happened to me and I was in second place in a Bassmaster event, I would be laying on the ground in the fetal position, sucking my thumb. But Jacob Wheeler was not. He was just getting ready to get going, and we were just a few minutes away from takeoff. This is our first cut of the season, obviously. Cut it down to 51, but after today, only the top 12 move on to Championship Sunday. We're going to crown our very first Bassmaster Elite Series champion of the 2017 season in Knoxville, Tennessee. The big deal with Tennessee is the Tennessee anglers. We go a lot of places. And there's a lot of local hype. And some of the locals catch them, some of the locals don't. A very hard thing to do is to compete in an event on your local body of water where you have so much history. But the Tennessee anglers did not let us down this week. We got guys like David Mullins, Ott Defoe, Skylar Hamilton in the mix and catching them in a big, big way. I talked to Mullins at the tanks yesterday. I said, dude, you going to be here on Sunday? He said, I sure hope so. I'm feeling good. It's working out right. And we could have a ton of Tennessee anglers in our pack. But hey, never mind the anglers. anglers. Let's talk about the real stars, the people that come out and watch boats idle away at 7 o'clock in the morning. Who's cheering for somebody here? Nobody is cheering for absolutely anybody. As you said, they don't even know what they're doing here, as you can see. Do you know where you are?
I know I'm at the Bassmaster first elite event of the series of the year for Jesse Wiggins.
You a Jesse Wiggins fan?
Hey, a rookie coming in, leading 2 days. He's won 2 open events. First elite series event, he's leading. Who couldn't root for him?
Is he going to win everything? He's going to win angler. Will he win every event this year?
No.
But will he win this event?
He needs to.
What is your name?
Aaron Creech.
Where are you from?
Eastern Kentucky.
What, is this your first ever Bassmaster event?
No, I was at the Open, or the, I was at Kentucky Lake for the, I don't remember the name of the event.
He was there.
If I asked you to run into the water and do a belly flop for us to be famous to all the viewers on Bassmaster Live, would you do that?
Yes.
Water's too cold.
Come on now.
No, okay. Will anyone do a belly flop for me? Anyone? I will pay you $4. Nothing. Nobody's doing anything. A little cold here this morning, guys. Davey Height. I mean, we know he can do a backflip. Maybe he'll do it. Tune into Bassmaster Live all day long. We're just a few minutes till takeoff here, and a big crowd down here this morning. As you can see, the best 51 anglers going out to do battle here at the first stop of the 2017 Bassmaster Elite Series, and it is absolutely awesome down here. And the guys, here's the deal too. Everybody's a little rejuvenated today. I mean, we were kind of, a little downtrodden, but walked out of the hotel today and you're like, whew, it's downright balmy. But we're just about ready to get going. We need to start this event as we start all Bassmaster events. I'd like to ask everyone to please stand and remove your hat for the national anthem.
About to get this thing underway, and Dave Mercer on fire this morning. He can't get the audience to join in his enthusiasm.
Davey Height and Dave Mercer.
Throwing out the Polar Bear Challenge. He's got to get that thing completed today. We'll stay on until he gets someone to jump in.
I don't know that the $4 was too enticing.
Should have started with $5.
Bass fan.
You start with 4 and you seem cheap. Let's go to the Humminbird Lay of the Lake, though, because this is a place, again, no one was familiar with it Elite Series-wise coming in here. Cherokee Lake on the Holston River, which flows into the French Broad River and creates the Tennessee River, about 50, 60 miles long. Not very big, and certainly down at Winter Pool right now, 20 feet below its regular level. You can see a lot of what's going on the shoreline. Interesting sort of two-sided lake.
No doubt about it, Tommy Sanders. Really the bottom end of the lake near the dam for about, let's call it, 25 to 30 miles. That's where you're going to have your deeper, clearer water. Well, that's where you're going to have a lot of your leaders, whether it be Seth Fighter, Jesse Wiggins, David Mullins, guys that are solely concentrating on those deep water smallmouth. Up the lake, you're going to see, well, check it out. How about a rookie from New York? Well, kind of New York. We'll get into that story in a little bit.
Yeah, I want to learn more.
And from there, Jacob Wheeler. Here's the thing about Jacob Wheeler. Jacob Wheeler has a lot of spots, a lot of jumping around, so we're going to try to hang with him most of the day. Other anglers that were fishing up the river looking for that a little bit warmer, dirtier largemouth water.
All right.
Here's what's interesting. Your day one leader, Cliff Crochet, He bombed up there
He
yesterday.
went all in on that tactic.
That being said, though, some anglers did capitalize up that river yesterday that have big potential of making a move today. But let's talk about right now what these smallmouth are hanging on. You see this main river channel, this dark blue on this Lake Master mapping right here, okay? That river channel really is the highway for these deep water flats. And anytime you're looking for a smallmouth, I don't care if you're on Cherokee, Lake Erie, anywhere a smallmouth lives, they live on deep flats. They feed there, they hang there. But this time of year, let's kind of bring this back down this way. You see this island right here, Tommy Sanders?
Yeah.
I want you to look right here. What our anglers are concentrating on are these depressions. In fact, this exact depression is where Jesse Wiggins is catching them, but all of our leaders are finding depressions off of deep water flats. Anywhere it kind of goes from 22 to 28 and makes that depression. In the mornings, those smallmouth are hanging in those depressions. And here's the other side of this. You better make hay in the first 3 hours if you watched Bassmaster Live yesterday.
Oh, absolutely. It all happened in the first hour and 15 minutes, too.
And right here is a perfect look at what these guys are trying to find. Now, you can go through 10 to 15 depressions and only one will have them. But when you find the right depression, it'll have a pile of them it's sitting in.
All right, we're making a lot out of the changing conditions, the fact that it's way warmer today. Is that enough to really change what these smallmouth are doing in the morning? And you say these smallmouth really don't act like what people in your part of the world know as smallmouth action, right?
No, generally, the higher the sky and the calmer the water, the better the deep water bite. But here's where they are fairly stable on this lake is really the first day of this tournament. It was during the front.
Okay.
Yesterday was a typical post-front condition, and you kind of knew that yesterday was going to be the toughest day of the tournament. I look for today to be a little bit better, a little bit more as the weather stabilizes. But every one of our anglers, every single one of our anglers said, you better have that camera with me the first 2 hours. And Tommy, I think you can agree. After the first 3 hours yesterday, whoo!
Oh man, that was probably the most fantastic starting hour we've ever had on Bassmaster Live.
Yes.
It was just we take a look back at what we saw here. We keep talking about it. Take a look for yourself. Jesse Wiggins getting out to those spots you just pointed out right there. The first one, and he starts into work.
Baby, I'm gonna come back there with you, Landon.
Again, this is coverage from yesterday morning. And gang, these depressions, it's not like they're a mile long.
No.
It's like they're maybe 50 to 100 yards long.
Gagging on that little fluke this morning. Yeah, he's good. I can't get my hands on it. Number 2, 3 pounder. Big one. Another 3 pounder. Number 3. Yeah, it is. Oh, it feels like a big one. Yeah! Woo! Right. Boom! Hey! That's gonna be close to 4 there, boys. Yes! If I land this one, I'm done. Atta call.
Eye-popping. Those are just the highlights of what this guy did yesterday. As we join the Such Mike Sukon in his lair here, interlaced with some very emotional sort of talks to the camera about how this is a dream come true. I mean, it was moving to see that whole experience. What happened to him, it was so overwhelming. I mean, he knew what he was doing at that point right there, and it started to catch up with him a little bit. And I think as each day rolls on, he's going to get maybe a little more tweaked up as he gets closer to that main goal. What do you think?
What's trending?
What are you
I don't know.
Why do you break that?
I don't know.
What's
I don't know.
trending?
I don't know.
The launch
I don't
is
even
trending?
know what that means.
The launch is trending right now.
Right.
They're trending 51 guys out there to
Now,
get them going.
Check it out. One thing that we do have different, if you're just tuning into Bassmaster Live, if you're not with us yesterday, no feedback section. Where can folks,
Bass
where can they make
Live
fun
at-
of us? Where can they give us some information?
Tweet us at hashtag Bass Live.
Nailed it.
If you're not a Twitter
Everywhere.
guy, well, is any other way to get in? Get your word in there. If you're not a Twitter guy,
Yeah, what if
Go
you're
to
not?
Bass's Facebook.
Bass's
and,
Facebook
and
page.
you
Okay.
can interact there somewhat. Did some yesterday, answered some questions, and
I got one more question for you. We didn't get to this yesterday. You could go on the blog, and it's like Marshall photo. All those great Marshall photos were on the blog. They're not there so much in great numbers anymore. Where are they now?
pulled them out and made a separate gallery of them, and it's doing really well.
Okay.
If you want to see
I know it's a
the
popular deal.
on the boat action of the guys,
Yeah,
that's
I
the gallery
do
to
want
look
to
for,
see
the
that.
Marshall Gallery.
That is exactly what I want to see. Five
Yes,
guys we're
yes.
following today. We call them our Rapala 5 Live.
Exactly right. Tommy Sanders, starting with, and here's the beautiful thing, we wanted to get in this guy's boat, the local David Mullins, one of the best anglers in this area. Great guy all around. Day one weight, 1612. Day two weight, check it out, fairly consistent, 16 pounds, 14 ounces, sitting in fifth place, David Mullins.
Absolutely one of the favorites coming in here. Another favorite coming in here. Seth Feider, just on the basis of momentum, won the last event of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series guys, the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Championship, in convincing fashion up on near his home waters in Mille Lacs, or Mille Lacs as they call it, up in Minnesota. Seth Feider, watching him yesterday, a little bit of a slowdown.
He does prey on the wounded, Tommy Sanders
does.
from there. Check this out, Jamie Hartman, and like I said, from New York, sort of. Like I said, we're going to get into that story. Very, very consistent. 17 pounds, 10 ounces on day one, backs it up on day two.
Hey, this guy, everyone's eyes have been on him since he first appeared on the leaderboard and started to move up on day number one. Jacob Wheeler, first year with the Bassmaster Elite Series, but he's come over here as a marauder during the Bass event on Chickamauga, Bass Week over there in the 2014, and took that trophy.
Jacob Wheeler, no doubt he can catch him, but the story of this tournament so far, he's being hunted by some pretty big names, but your rookie from Alabama, two-time Bassmaster Open champion, Jesse Wiggins, an enormous day one, very solid stringer on day two, only fished for about an hour and a half yesterday. Well, that is your leader, and he is in his spot right now out on the water. Jesse Wiggins, Bassmaster Live. Thanks, Tommy.
There they are. There's one. Come on, baby. I see fish already. Right there on the drop. I see them on the depth finder, and I just dropped down to them. And they've been biting fairly decent in the morning, so hoping to get one, kind of get the party started. First bite's always the hardest, of course. I ought to get bit right here. Come on, baby.
Come on, fat girl.
It's a big one. I'm coming back there again. It's a big one, I think. If it's not a bass, if it's a bass. Oh, baby. That's what we need.
What's the weight?
3 pound, or two, probably 212.
Yeah.
I have not. Yesterday was the most I ever had, and there was like 5. That's a bigger one. That's good. Real good one. Come here, baby. No. Shit. Popped off.
That's all right.
Don't let that. We gotta catch some more. I think my bait hit the... Worst thing about that, my arm got wet.
First time that's happened, at least that we've seen out there today.
Yeah, about a solid 3-pounder right there, probably about a quarter pound bigger than his first fish. And as you say, Tommy, first one he's lost, at least so far that we've had him on camera. But if you're just tuning in, you didn't get to watch yesterday, there is a pile of those sitting in that area. Just curious to see how he recovers from that.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, if the way it looks now, there may be some more fishing based on what we saw yesterday. There might be another one to take its place in there. This guy, and Davey nailed it this morning. He's fished only 8 Bassmaster events so far in his career. He's won 2 of them. And right now, on track to win his 3rd in 9 events. Long way to go, though.
Two-pounder. He's still kicking, son. Good news is, I've seen 3 on the graph and all 3 of them bit.
This is part 2 of what we saw yesterday morning. I mean, it's just like picked his stick up again after guarding it for 7 hours yesterday. Starts in today, seen 3 of them, 3 bites.
2 keepers in the live well. As you say, Tommy, he marked 3, dropped on 3, hooked all 3, 2 in the live well, 1 lost fish. But things starting exactly the way they started yesterday for Jesse Wiggins.
We've seen this before. A guy finds the magic spot, exploits it to run away from everyone else and win the tournament. Will that happen today? It is far from being proven that that's going to be the case today. That's why we're interested to stick around, but we got to take a break. We'll be right back.
The Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake is brought to you by Berkeley, Hook, Humminbird, Mercury, Minn Kota, and by Nitro Boats. Continually proven on the tournament trail and with Skeeter owners everywhere, with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy, save, fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy, save, fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Gerald Swindle. Trip includes airfare, rental car, hotel, and $500 cash, plus a Triton 17 TX bass boat, Mercury engine, and Gerald's gear from Humminbird, Minn Kota, GoPro, and more. You, the winner of a valuable prize? Could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkley.
Yeah, it's Saturday morning, and you probably got some chores to do. You got some stuff you got to take. Just put it off for a while. If you're going to watch any of our show today, any of Bassmaster Live, now is it. Just lock in for the next hour, 2 hours, because what we saw yesterday was Jesse Wiggins taking over the tournament in a very, very important way, and we're seeing it again today.
How about the TH Marine weather watch for Cherokee Lake today? And boy, it is, well, it is just like another season right now compared to yesterday and day one of this tournament. High's going to get up to 60 degrees, but the low is really the story. Only going to get down to 56 degrees. Completely cloudy, nice, gentle. Southwest wind, 11 miles per hour. It looks like we might be at that right now.
You said it yesterday. We're going through all 4 seasons during the course of this tournament. I mean, we're having a late spring here today. Tomorrow, these summertime thunderstorms.
So. I'll tell you, I still think tomorrow's going to be the day as far as these guys catching them. Every single one of our anglers said when it was nastiest and the most brutal on day one, that is when they bit. So tomorrow's going to be nasty and brutal, but warm. A lot of potential there, Tommy.
All right, we talk about the warmth and potential. This time of year, your mind goes to something you've been teasing all morning long. And yesterday, too, is largemouth. Are they going to be a component in somebody's winning sack? David Mullins, straight down the middle, smallmouth campaign. But is someone else going to take a back door in there via the largemouth?
As we look here at our first DB of the morning double box, Jacob Wheeler, Jesse Wiggins, I'm going to go yes.
Okay.
I think to win this tournament, to win it, one of these guys is going to have to catch another bonus largemouth. Jesse Wiggins catching a big one on day number one, over 4 pounds.
The guy who's going to win this event, win it, So, I'm just here trying to find a couple of them dang big ones. I caught a 4-pounder here, the biggest fish I've caught the whole tournament, the first day. So, I'm trying to see if I can't sneak a couple of them in, and then we can run some stuff and keep running today. I think they're going to bite, though. I think they're going to bite throughout the day for sure. Been fishing about I don't know, I got probably 30 places that I want to fish. And just, some places there's boats on, some places there's not, and some places you try to save. So it's just sort of it's a cluster between them all, really, in my opinion. I'm just trying to sort of poke around on each place and you normally get a pretty good idea if they're biting, and so far, I don't know if it's just too low light conditions, but these fish don't seem like they want to bite. You get a pretty quick idea, boom, you get a couple bites, fairly quickly, and and I was on the juice there for a second, so not real sure what was up.
Both Wiggins and Wheeler fishing from, call it 20, really all the way down to 40 feet of water. Fishing what's called a Demiki style rig, and basically what it is, the reason it's
come up.
called that is they mostly use what's called a Demiki armor shed, but that is, look gang, a lot of them are using different baits, whether it's a Zoom fluke. Boy, that's a good one right there. That is a good look.
I want to try that.
But one of the questions that I've had from several different people, and I'd like to ask all of our leaders today, why not a drop shot?
Yeah.
You can hold it in place, do the exact same thing. I'm sure some of our anglers in the top 25 are doing that, but I'd like to ask the leaders why not that. I understand that this technique is dominant on these lakes. We actually have a picture that we'll put up a little bit later this morning of Jacob Wheeler's exact rig that he texted us last night. Get a good look at it, and interestingly, the jig head is very much the key of this system, of this technique. Heavy, finessey, and realistic, very realistic.
Watched a lot of Wiggins and Fighter doing this exact same thing yesterday, and the big difference you pointed out was the complete dead stick approach.
Yeah.
He gives it maybe a half a flick every 30 seconds and nothing else.
No, totally get it down. The one who gave it the most action yesterday was Seth Fighter, but the rest of them just get it down there about a foot off the bottom and just basically hold their rod like they're ice fishing. Mm-hmm. It's very similar to that. I'll tell you something, gang, if you're just tuning in, what seems to have been very critical for this event was coming and pre-practicing this lake. This is not a usual stop on the Bassmaster Elite Series, okay? Guys that came down here.
Bait in this place too. There's been a lot of bait. They should bite actually.
Before cutoff, Jacob Wheeler spent 13 days idling this lake. Fighter did the same. Hartman, who's in our top 5, did the same. The guys that put their time in and idled this lake and learned all of these depressions, all of these subtleties, right now, they have a camera in their boat.
That's true. Speaks for itself.
If you did not come here and do that,
you may be down the road a piece today.
You might be down the road.
You might be down the road. As we speak right now, and as we speak, we're moving down the lake. Take a look at Seth Fighter. Hung in there. Slow start for him. Brutal start yesterday. Stayed with it. Grounded out. Kept himself in the top 5.
Come here and stay on. Come here and stay on. Come here and stay on. Come here. Come here. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Skinny Tennessee smallmouth. On board, though.
Please. The hyena fed right there, Tommy. Stop.
That took a long time.
For goodness sake.
There's 3 of them staring at it for 5 minutes before one bit.
That was so cool on the graph, you could see the bait go down. Talk about that stuff.
Yeah, got another one right here. Yeah, just, fishing off the graph for these fish. Earlier in the day, you can see them, they're up real high. Later in the day, they kind of get tucked down in the rocks and you can't really see them as good, but just dropping a little 3-inch minnow to these fish. It's kind of like a little local technique I heard about when I came here in pre-practice, and just kind of a when in Rome situation, you know. It seems to work real well. I've never tried it before I got here, but I'm interested in trying it at other places. But yeah, like I said, just cruising around on the trolling motor with my Humminbird and waiting until I see one, dropping a bait to it and just shaking it in his face. Sometimes I bite it right away. A lot of times it takes a while. Just kind of got to agitate him into biting. There's a couple more fish right here though. Good quality out here deep too. That's the thing. I'm not catching little ones. I'm not getting a ton of bites either, but if I set the hook, they're the right fish. So just gotta get 5 of them. We got 1 down, 4 to go. But a lot better start than yesterday morning. I think it was, well, I don't even know, 8:30, 9 o'clock by the time I caught one, and it's not even 8 o'clock yet. So you know, hopefully we can get 4 more like that, and we'll be fishing on Sunday with a chance to win. They definitely don't seem too aggressive right now. They definitely go in little spurts too. Like all of a sudden, just every time you drop to them, they eat it, and right now they're just kind of looking at it. Just gotta trick one into biting every once in a while.
Been on 3 anglers so far, and they're all doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, yeah. See the crowd that he's upgraded his crowd. Jesse Wiggins has.
Yes.
I imagine that'll continue throughout the tournament unless things just go off the rails today.
Hemmed in.
Good. Here we go.
Oh, baby. Yes. God, they're all over the depth finder. Do not lose this fish, Jesse. Good gracious. Come here, baby. That's a good one there, boys. Yeah! A little over 3, probably.
Six words.
God, they're all over the depth finder. They're up here on the drop.
6 words. 6 words. Play it. Dadgum Alabama stud.
Thought dadgum was 1 word.
Roll Tide roll.
There you go. That's 3 words.
Tommy, I want you to watch one thing going on too with these guys today. A lot of these smallmouth, as you pressure them as the days go along, okay, Such? Everybody at home, I want you to follow me on this. A lot of times they won't want you to get over their head vertical, and I've been watching Jesse Wiggins so far this morning making little pitch casts, marking them,
not dropping it down.
It was brought up yesterday, wasn't it?
Yes, and I want you to
notice that.
If you recall, we went back to Mille Lacs, as Spider pressured those bass, the more you pressure them, you gotta slide back, make little pitch casts to them. Bing bong, Alabama stud.
Golly.
Sorry.
Dadgum Alabama. So that's 3 words.
Here's David Mullins. Starting the day in 5th place.
It's amazing. Everything you set the hook on here is almost quality. I mean, how many non-keepers have we had?
Yeah, not in this end of the lake.
No,
none.
They were all on the upper end in the river.
Oh, look at them old black lids.
Need to get a lot bigger than that one though. There's one.
Talk to me, how you feel?
Well, there's some right there on that corner, so you know, if I can get them going, then it's gonna be good. They're all gonna be about that same size. We just gotta keep after them. There's not as many here as there was yesterday. I changed colors right there in that fish bit.
Definitely the top performing local favorite to this point in this tournament.
Better
David
watch
Mullins.
him.
Yeah,
Better watch him.
On the board now, although he indicated it's going to be a little bit harder to get him today. Not quite as much fish is he seeing. Let me see. Triton on the line. Time for Triton on the line. Davey Hype handling those duties today as he did yesterday. Great job yesterday. Davey, you're part of this growing crowd here, this growing throng here who can't take their eyes. None of us can take our eyes off Jesse Wiggins.
Yeah, we really can't. You know, he's certainly got a following here today. I put my Minn Kota on Spotlock a little farther away than a lot of these folks are, trying to give Jesse some room. You know, I've been there, done that, and just a little bit more room will help his nerves just a little bit. But he just caught a really good one, his third fish, and he let out a yeah, baby, Alabama style, really, really loud. You can tell he's really pumping this morning.
Hey, Davey, one of the things that we've been talking about, looking at all of the mapping that we have here in studio, there's a lot of feeding flats on this lake, but it seems like as far as a typical wintertime area, talk about all of the depressions that are being utilized by our anglers in the top 10 and kind of that depth zone, that 20 to 30 foot depression.
Yeah, you know, Zona, I think a lot of really good fishermen. There's some guys that had a bad tournament that, like you mentioned earlier, they're on their way home today that missed the boat. These fish, the guys that are really catching well, these better smallmouth, they're in the depression, those wintering type places. This one that Jesse's on is unusual. Some of the other guys that I've watched, Jacob Wheeler and Mullins and those folks, they are more out on open water flats close to the river, and this is back in a pocket. It's probably why a lot of guys missed it. I guess Jesse's the only one that found these fish, but this one's a little unusual because it's back in the pocket, but there's two very distinct depressions. I talked with him and he's caught fish in both of them. Yesterday he only fished one, so that's one thing that has really amazed me about him. At 27 years old, rookie on the Elite Series, he started managing his fish. And, you know, I always did that in my career. A lot of folks say catch everyone any day you can, and that works out for some, but I think he's played his cards right, and he's going to be hard to beat. He really is, because he's managed his fish. He's doing a great job. He's poised way beyond his years.
Davey, here's the one thing that we talked about a little bit, and you look at how these guys are catching them on this, and here's what we're gonna, if you guys are cool, it's a jig head minnow that all of these leaders are using. It's almost more of a walleye style technique than it is a bass style. Why is there a drop shot not more utilized in your opinion?
These fish are suspending a lot, and, you know, for some reason, these smallmouth on this lake, the drop shot isn't nearly as effective. That jig head minnow, and it's so similar to a drop shot. They're dropping it right down there. They're locating the fish with their hummingbird, dropping straight down there on them, and trying to keep the bait a little above them. But for some reason, these fish are shy to that whether it's tungsten or lead below the bait, and they like that jig head bait being held perfectly horizontal right there where those fish are. They're very lethargic in these wintering holes, and they just want that bait horizontal right there in front of them.
Davey, I don't want you to destroy our optimism here, but we look at the cloud cover there. Yesterday, it started out cold, and by the time it started to warm up a little, sun got high in the sky, the fish biting was over with. Do we have a better shot at maybe picking up a fish every now and then all day long today? Please don't disappoint us.
Hey, one thing real quick. You got a camera on Randall Tharp today, and he's largemouth fishing. Only had one smallmouth yesterday. He told me he caught it on his way in. He told me he caught like 20 fish, caught them all day long. So I think you guys will have some fun and watching Randall because he's been catching fish all day long.
Sounds good to us.
Yeah, we'll take some of that. I can't wait to get a little bit of that. David, Mark Zona was talking about Jesse Wiggins and talking about, I said, describe him in one word, and Zona says he's the natural. He's a David Dudley type, natural. He's that natural. I think Seth Feider maybe falls into that category too a little bit, right?
Sure, but and really, Davey, what I compared him to, he's got that David Dudley, no flash, just catches them and nothing fancy, just gets the job done. And I don't get. Let me get your opinion of that.
Yeah, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. He's got that, and you can see it immediately. I talked last year a little bit about Jordan Lee, and he's got that. And, you see it in some guys, you don't see it in others. Everybody's got their own style, but he's just got that natural. I'm out here fishing like he's been doing it for 20 years, and he's just real confident in what he's doing. Like I mentioned, managing the fish, your first Elite Series tournament ever as a rookie, that's unheard of. It really is.
Hey, Davey. The other side is you talk about momentum and all that stuff, and a lot of people. One of your roommates said that momentum is not real, but Seth Feider is the story of momentum that it is real.
He really is. Last year about mid-season, when I'd see Seth, you could just see depression, defeat, that sort of thing in his eyes. Jesse's got one on now. Let's watch him.
Oh, he's got my line hung around his fin. Dadgummit. Don't break that line. If he surges, he's gonna snap it. Come here, baby. Come here, baby.
Wow. He's getting it done, guys. He's gonna be so hard to beat. It's really incredible that him managing these fish the way he has is working out for him. There's a lot of folks here pulling for him. Dave Mercer back at the takeoff asked a couple people who they were pulling for, and not even from Alabama. This guy was from Kentucky or another state, and automatically everybody's on the Jesse Wiggins bandwagon.
Davey, would it be out of line? Would it be bad form for you to encourage him to just keep fishing all day long?
Thomas!
Catch him all day long. Don't stop. Don't start guarding that place.
I promise you he'll do that for you guys tomorrow. He's probably not going to do it today.
Hey, Davey, you know what we have?
Contract.
You know what we have? Oh, hold on.
His name's Boone. He'd like to give a shout out. So, Boone, that one's for you.
Heyo.
Yeah.
Next time, I'm gonna try to catch you one, Mama. Okay. That one was for you, Boone. A guy texted me last night on Facebook and said, Boone's been watching every day, watching me fish, and he wanted a shout out, so there's your shout out.
Things going right when shout outs
I'm gonna try to
start
get Mama
by
one
8:30.
next.
Yeah, you start doing a Facebook shout.
Big one.
Right. Something, Such, get ready. First news note and nugget of the thieving.
Please.
And this is for Davey. You ready for this? David Mullins last night telling me this exact spot. David Mullins was hoping to save this for today or tomorrow, and highly regretting he never went to it.
What?
Has he asked? You don't ask, you don't get.
You're right, Z. That's incredible. I talked to David Mullins yesterday after the weigh-in, and I got to know him over the last few years being out here, and I asked him, I said, you're saving some stuff, aren't you? He said, oh, yeah. I don't think he found out until yesterday one of the spots he was saving, Jesse Wiggins is leading the tournament on.
Davey, if you can, we're getting some great screenshots today of, we talked about this yesterday. This is one of the very few southern or at least mid-south reservoirs that has alewife in it, which is predominantly a northern bait fish that these smallmouth feed on. Kind of describe what goes on here in the morning in the base of these depressions where these schools of alewife appear to be in for about 2 hours to 2.5 hours. Kind of describe what goes on, at least for the first couple hours of the morning, and then what takes place later in the day.
Yeah, the guys, most of the guys are catching what they weigh in the first 2 hours of the day. Those alewives are up around where those smallmouth are wintering, and they're feeding, and that's the opportunity to catch them best. The thing that's really cool about Jesse's spot, when I talked to him about the bait and that sort of thing, what was going on his spot, he said there's a lot of shad there. There's not shad in many places. They seem to be out suspended over open water and in the main river channel itself. But I think the key to his spot and why that place is going to keep producing today and tomorrow is he's got threadfin shad there, and they're not going to go anywhere. It probably helped him today. The wind is actually blowing straight in there to where he's at. It's not real good for the spectator boats because it kind of blows the boats in there closer to him, and I know a little nervous about those guys being right in there on him, but it keeps the shad packed in that pocket that he's fishing in.
And really one other thing, if you were to look at, here, these guys are making it look incredibly easy. It's just like you go out there, you find a depression or a little corner with a vein of rock on some of these deep water flats. But Davey, some of the best deep water fishermen on the Bassmaster Elite Series did not catch them in this. Chris Zaldane, Brett Height, Chad Pipkins, guys that are in tune with this style fishing. This was not just a layup.
It's not. I was amazed looking at the standings and where people finished after 2 days last night. I couldn't believe the great fishermen, and you mentioned several of them. There's a few more that came to mind. It's mind-boggling that those guys didn't figure it out. But remember, you've only got 2.5 days of practice, and like you were talking earlier, guys that didn't come here and pre-fish, and guys that have so many sponsor obligations and just getting their boats ready for the new year and that sort of thing, a lot going on. And the guys that didn't come here, I'm sure they were struggling to be able to figure it out in 2.5 days. And believe it or not, they don't get a whole lot of help from their competitors. They got to figure it out on their own.
Davey, but that truly, if you look at this tournament right now and you're not a local, pre-practice was the key.
It wasn't. Most of our tournaments is not that way. A lot of lakes we've been to before, river systems we've been to through the years, got history on a place. This place, not so much. And I think it's just critical. Jesse told me he came over here and pre-fished. Several of the guys, obviously David Mullins fishes here all the time. I was talking to a few of the local people yesterday, said Jacob Wheeler spent a lot of time over here this winter. And those are the guys that are catching them.
Davey, thank you so much. Good stuff. I know you got a lot of other stops to make. We'll let you be on your way there. Leave the crowd for a little while and take a look at some of these other anglers. We got to get a break in here. Hey, part two, as we say, of the same story we saw yesterday morning. Jesse Wiggins pulling himself away, at least for now, from the rest of this field, expanding his lead here at this first event of the year on the Bassmaster Elite Series. Our first look at Cherokee Lake, a very interesting place, to say the very least. The rest of this tournament is going to be very interesting as well. Plenty more coverage, another hour's worth coming your way when we come back.
In a world where boring, soundless lures, where the norm comes a lure unlike any other, the fish-catching machine. Livingston Lures are the only lures featuring electronic baitfish sounds that call the fish. Tie one on today and experience the power of the fish-catching machine.
The competition is fierce and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package, including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The classic and each individual elite event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 Black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at Bassmasterfantasy.com.
Hey, thanks, Dave. Out of office?
Oh, man.
Hi, this is Skeet.
Out of office?
Dude, don't be mad because I thought of it.
What?
I gotta go. I got someone on the line. Go to teamgtfishing.com to check out my real job.
We're supposed to be working.
I am working.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Jesse Wiggins has caught more fish before breakfast than most of us ever have.
Yes.
At any point. And he's doing it in a Bassmaster Elite Series event, the first stop of the year, trying to be the first guy since Derek Rimmets to be a rookie and take that first trophy of the year. It's interesting for a whole lot of reasons. And we've seen three other guys out there, or two other guys, and they're all doing the same thing. So a good time for Yamaha Taste the Bait, maybe?
Way to tee it up, Tommy Sanders. Exactly right. And so far, every single angler that we have been on is throwing this, and here's the thing, it's not like, we said this yesterday, it's not like these guys figured this technique out coming here. This is very popular in this area. It's called the Demiki rig, and the reason why it's called the Demiki rig, a lot of times the soft plastic trailer anglers use, very popular on this lake, is the Demiki armor shad. That being said, a lot of our guys in the top 10 are using a lot of different soft plastics, but the major key to this rig, besides the little 2.5 inch to 3 inch soft plastic minnow trailer, a lot of guys are using a Zoom Fluke. Some guys using a Jackal crosstail shad. Here's the deal. It's a very realistic rig. And I want to go back to that picture of Jacob Wheeler's setup. Let's go back to that picture that we had up there. For that one right there, okay? You see that VMC Moon Eye jig head. Jacob Wheeler, this is not a goofy sales pitch. Jacob Wheeler said, the key to my rig is how realistic my jig head looks, almost like the one that I'm holding here. He believes that that big eye on that jig head, it's a little light wire hook, but it's a heavy jig head. It's a 3/8 ounce or a 1/2 ounce. A lot of our anglers believe the more realistic you can get that jig head, the more bites you're gonna get. The other thing is that 90-degree angle line tie. It's not a 60-degree, so that bait hangs like that. That 90-degree lets it sit there vertical for all of these very high-pressured fish. And the other thing, Such, you got a question, I think it's a very cool question, off of the Twitters of why not other baits like a jig and spoon or a silver buddy? Right. Look, a silver buddy, a blade bait style bait, it definitely works on lakes like this. But the more pressure that these fish become, the more they're pounded on, the more this finesse style rig is going to produce by the end of the tournament. And I'm sure a blade bait or a spoon completely works here at certain times. Also, the other thing is, to me, a blade bait or a jig and spoon seems to work a lot better in that 37 to 42 degree water. The warmer it gets, the more a soft plastic tends to always work better with a smallmouth. As a whole, even when you're up north, last week, it just seems that metal works real good around 40, and that soft plastic works out a lot better as you get 45 and up.
School us on something really basic on smallmouth behavior this time of year. I mean, obviously, other times of year.
They group up.
Yeah, but they're not as, I mean, you don't see follows up to the boat. You don't see them trying to take the bait away from one another. They're generally a little more lethargic, or are they not?
Any bass is a little bit more lethargic when the water temp's 42 to 48 degrees. But the other thing about that is, one of the biggest misconceptions about wintertime bass, period, is that they are lethargic. That is so untrue.
Not true?
That is so untrue. I broke a lake open last week. I broke the ice open. Right when you broke the ice open, the bass were incredibly aggressive when you got them to bite. And if you listen to a lot of our anglers like Wiggins, right here, whenever these guys tend to get one to bite, their graph lights up and they get very aggressive. I think
any time of year.
I think that's a very big misconception about bass, period. That they're lethargic when it's cold. They're lethargic until you get a school ignited.
You're cold.
Now you see, this is live right here, and they're a little bit smaller today. He's got some upgrading to
That
do,
last one wasn't
which
too
I
bad.
hate to say. We did miss one moments ago when we were at break, Tommy Sanders. Here's a look at it right here.
God, it's a big one.
Look at what he spit out.
Yeah, I know. It's a good one. Man, I ain't got him hooked good though. Or do I? I can't tell. Come here. Oh, I got him hooked good. Yeah, he's good. Boom, baby! That's for you, Mom. Number 5. Biggest one yet. 3-pounder.
Okay. 7:15. That was just a few minutes ago. So actually, by 7:15, you do it exactly on schedule where he was yesterday. Cullen just getting incremental increases in his thing. One thing we didn't see yesterday was him missing a fish. We did see that today, but pretty inconsequential, I think you'd have to say.
Oh, we were wondering if that would kind of rattle and spin them out a little bit. That has not.
No.
It is safe to confirm that was not the case. I'm actually hoping he catches a couple more 2.5 to 2 3/4 pound fish, just
to keep him going.
Keep him fishing. Because it seems like when he starts sniffing that 16-pound range, he's going to lock her down again. And
Not
as
a good
Davey
decision.
said, and as Davey said, shows how he's managing this.
Yep.
This is awesome. I ain't gonna lie, this is cool.
Soak it up, buddy.
It's cool. I mean, it's. I know this don't last forever, but my God, this is awesome. To get to be freaking Kevin Van Dam for a few minutes out here this morning. Everybody waiting on you to pull up. God.
You're looking at Jamie Hartman live, upper left, quad box, day 3, Cherokee Lake.
Another one of our rookies here. Got a lot to learn about Jamie, but I can tell you this, he's been very much a factor in the Bass Pro Shops Northern Opens the last 2 years.
He's been very much the factor of the most interesting story I have ever heard in the history of the Bassmaster Elite Series of any rookie ever. And I read this, I read this on another media site, but I brought up to Jamie.
All right, maybe it was a color change. Could be a color change.
I said to Jamie, I said, where are you from? Up in New York. Tape a lot of shows up there, have a lot of events up there. So where are you from?
Skunks out of the boat. No, a different one. But he stayed on it for so long, man. He was on it forever before he ate it.
Come on, baby.
Said he lived.
Hasn't been taken that long at all.
What?
I've seen this before. I mean, these are tough days when they're like this. But they'll go, sometimes it'll just break loose and they'll start feeding like.
Oh, right there. There's like 5 of them. Come on now. They may have just been swimming by.
Said he lived at Oneida Lake. Okay.
And that fish came out of 25.
I'll hold that.
Yeah, okay, hold that thought because I want to hear this story.
It's a dandy.
Back to Jesse Wiggins.
That's what I figured. And they ain't gonna bite that thing unless it's sitting perfectly straight down there.
Hey, Such, going back to that Twitter question that we had about why not a jig and spoon or a blade bait, silver buddy style bait. Hey, real quick, this is one thing I did leave out. There are several guys in the top 20 that besides the jig head minnow deal going on, and there are a lot of guys fishing in ice jig, a Rapala ice jig.
Describe that bait.
Here's the best way. It's not a pendulum, but it's an ice jig, and I'll try to get us a picture of it. If you ice fish for walleye or for bass or for perch, it's basically a center tied, and it's a naughty little secret that a lot of guys like Steve Kennedy, Brent Ayler use for deep water jigging, and it has 2 little plastic fins on the back of it, and it's not a pendulum, but it just darts back and forth. So that is one hard jigging style bait that is being utilized by some of our guys in this tournament. So the Hartman story, okay?
Okay.
So I said, where are you from? He said, well, I used to be from Oneida.
Oneida.
Okay.
Used to be.
Till he qualified for the Elite Series. He said, I basically threw all my stuff in a storage unit, moved out of where I was living. I now live on the road, broke up with my girlfriend 12 hours before I bailed, and now he's the road warrior.
Wow.
Join the circus. I said, dude, that's like, you're like a Motley Crue sound guy now. You can't travel. It's like Metallica wherever I may roam.
He's about 45 years old.
I said, so you live.
He's been fishing a bunch of FLW stuff. He's got seven wins over there in the smaller circuit.
This is the beautiful thing. He said the community helped me with donations and a few local sponsors right around Oneida Lake. And I said, so they helped you out and you bailed. Well, he goes, well, yeah.
No more horizons to conquer at Oneida. Really not. I mean, every time he tees it up at Oneida, he's in the top 5.
I said, Jamie, give me this timing of breaking up with your girlfriend where you're like, yeah, I'm gone. He's like, yeah. I said, a couple weeks before you left? No, 12 hours. No, a day before I left, basically.
He won't be an inspiration to everybody, but he's an inspiration to a lot of people.
Inspiration
right
to us.
Yeah.
No, but he said, I've got a plan. I've saved all the money that I've won regionally around New York, whether it's been, Champlain or Thousand Islands, Oneida. He goes, I banked all that money to come do this. And now here's what's interesting. He said, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it right. I'm going to pre-fish all of them that I've not been to. I'm going to put my time. And I said, well, how many have you not been to? He said, all of them except the ones up north. So he said, I have a lot of pre-fishing to do, and best way to do that is to get out on the highway.
Right.
Hey,
all in.
Tommy, as you
all
say,
in.
Gone fishing.
Gone
Paying
fishing.
off here so
Paying
far.
off.
Instead of wishing.
Gone fishing.
Said he spent a ton of time at Okeechobee, and he's ready.
Lee. Okay, we're live. Jacob, give us a little update.
Well, we're not doing the best this morning, but the bait is present, and that's the key. You know, I'm actually idling around. There's an area that seems to have more bait than anything I've seen. There's a lot of birds around, so I'm actually idling around looking for a new place. I know you just got to keep them honest. You know, sometimes you can find that little wad of them that is not getting any pressure. There might be a little couple of them right there. It might be stripers, though. But basically all I'm doing is idling around looking for a little bit of rock, them smallmouth they're gonna live on, feed off that bait. So, goes on, I mean, I'm literally
Losing his signal just a little bit, Jacob Wheeler. He's kind of in transition right now anyway. He gets settled back in. We'll get back to him, back over to Jamie Hartman. Continue that
Is he
conversation.
your guy?
We could be. I think, but I'm
Is he
saying,
close?
I'll go ahead, all in. Jamie Hartman.
There you go.
Why not?
Golly, look at that. You see that screen? Jeez. Here comes one. Oh. Oh, he missed it. Got him that time. Oh, that's a big one. If it's not a striper. It's not a striper. I can feel the head shake. It's a smallie. Better not be a striper. Nope, big smallmouth, huge. Yes. Color change, brother, color change. He was pretty aggressive with it. Let's hope they're starting to bite, man. Keith is coming in a little close today. He's never been this close. Oh my God. Oh God, they were all over it. Look at that. Man. I almost got lucky right there, but looking up, I don't know why they didn't eat it.
Got to see a small keeper fish right there from David Mullins. Jimmy Hartman, fair to say, life is a highway. I'm gonna ride it
all night long. Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
I mean, this among this group, we need a guy who creaks a little bit when he raises back up again and breathes a little harder. We don't want everybody being their mid-20s in this bunch. He fits in here. There's a place for him here.
Quad box. All 4 anglers doing the exact same thing.
As the lake has fallen silent.
I don't know that we've ever had that, except for, did we have a? No, this is the first time we've had that. Even when we were down at St. John's and 3 guys would be sight fishing,
there'd be
one guy would be throwing a casting.
Yeah. Crankbait. Yeah, we have not scored on diversity in this tournament.
No, that's not
at all.
popping.
That is
That's
not popping this time.
It's not popping.
Next time, though, Okeechobee. Oh, wait a minute. No.
No.
There won't be much diversity there either.
Not to be the buzzkill on this, but yesterday at 9 a.m. is when the bites stopped.
Thanks, Debbie Downer.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
I say going to be better all day around today.
Clouds hang, catch a few every hour. That's all I'm asking.
I don't think he did. No, because he's zeroed, so he didn't catch him. Yeah. I think it's a morning deal. They bite really good in the mornings, and then after that, it's you got to work for.
Last 2 catches we've seen, Jamie Hartman. A little bit what you were talking earlier, and we saw Wiggins doing, backing off just a little bit, not getting, but Hartman dropping straight down on him still. Now you think that's something they're all going to have to adopt, and just back off just a touch as the pressure wears on into a third day here?
The more you lean on them, the more you'll have to do that.
Oh, dang it, he had it when I picked it up.
Seth Fighter hooked up. One you better watch by the end of this thing.
It's a different day for him today.
Mm-hmm.
Stay on, stay on. You got it pretty good. Don't do nothing crazy. Oh. Got him!
2. Good ones, too.
Come on. We're waiting.
Heck yeah, dude. Heck yeah.
There it is.
3 more. We're fishing on Sunday. Another one right there.
Tommy,
that's it.
That's
you.
Right here, look at this.
Something great has happened. You've now got access to sound effects that you can fire at any time. That's really good.
It's a hyena mating call
that you associate.
It happens in a small window, hooked up
he's tiny. He's tiny.
Small one.
Come here. That's the smallest one I've caught. I don't even think he's gonna be a keeper. I think he's gonna be short. $14.5. They're still on there. Where'd they go? Where did they
There you go. I guarantee you that wasn't the biggest one in that wad. I think it's way up high. See if we'll go down for it. I missed one that was like, they're going down for it. I don't like seeing them that high, but I had one follow it down and bite it that was that high up. They probably followed him up when I hooked that little one. There's one going up again. Chase him up and make him go back down. Caught the next smallest one in the school. Not cool. Where did they go?
Anyway, to finish, that's you controlling that sound effect there, and it relates to Seth Feider. How?
He looked at me last fall. This was after his big win at Mille Lacs, and he said, just so you know, Seth has left. He's gone.
It's not, that's...
Yes.
You
yes.
made that
No, I
up.
did not make that up. We were at a bonfire.
You are.
We were at a bonfire. He said, I will only be referred to as the hyena. I prey upon wounded.
Great. Okay. We'll keep that in mind. I got you. All clear.
Thank you.
Claudio. Okay. Thank you very much.
Dude, I just dropped fast.
I know. Come here.
Yeah, buddy.
This morning. He's
Yeah,
looking good,
buddy.
bud. Looking really good.
Looking good.
Chop. Skinny Tennessee smallmouth. On the board, though.
Flowing. Feeling it.
You know what else he's worked on? You know what else he's worked on since we've seen him last? That mustache. That thing is looking strong, and I'm thinking it's going to get stronger.
I mean, this isn't like a trimmed up look. This is just how my hair grows. Like, I don't get anything here, so I'm gonna leave it as big as I can. But the chin's coming off for sure, and I don't know. Give it a couple years, I might be able to get me a good shot. Greg's be going. Best mustache in the game, hands down.
Continually proven on the tournament trail and with Skeeter owners everywhere with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy, save, fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy, save, fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
If you love bass fishing, then show your support by joining B.A.S.S today. Since 1968, B.A.S.S has been serving bass fishing enthusiasts with information and tournament coverage that make you a better angler. When you sign up today, you'll join over 500,000 outdoorsmen who love bass fishing. With your membership, you'll receive every issue of Bassmaster magazine, plus $50 in free gear, including a membership tackle bag, B.A.S.S cap, plus more. Log on to Bassmaster.com to join Bass today.
Woo! Thank you, Jesus! Big one, big one. Yes! Yes! Yeah! Yes! Yeah, boys! All stay on there! Yeah! That's what we after right there, boys.
31 pounds, 7 ounces! The legendary Mr. Rick Clun knocks the lights out! Ricky Clun gets it done! From Lake Wiley, South Carolina, Britt Meyer! 5 pounds, 13 ounces! Britt Meyer smashes him in front of his hometown crowd! Your champion, ladies and gentlemen! Let me hear it for Randall Thurm! 16 pounds and 2 ounces! The Honey Badger hammers him on Championship Sunday! Get loud for Takahiro Amore! 16 pounds, 10 ounces! Takahiro Amore, your champion! From Kalamazoo, Michigan, KVD, Kevin Van Dam! 21 pounds, 6 ounces! KVD gets it done with win number 21! The Hack Attack whacks him on Championship Sunday! Your champion, Greg Hackney! 12 pounds, 10 ounces! KVD gets it done! 19 pounds, 13 ounces! Justin Lucas lays the lumber to the Potomac River! 12 pounds and an ounce! Opti Foe is an Elite Series champion! Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year! The G-Man gets it done and finishes in spot number 1!
Fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkley.
You're not going to believe what happened while we were away, Tommy.
What? Something unexpected and unusual?
Exactly. How about another Jesse Wiggins fish?
What?
Oh, it feels like a good one. Yeah, it feels big. Oh, it looked big. That's what we need. Some good in there, boys. Hook good, just gonna ease it in here. Hey, yeah, get on that little fluke this morning, boys. Yes! Yes! It's a 3+, I think.
That was Jesse Wiggins. Wow, right when we went to break is when he caught that fish right there. But we got it for you. You saw it right there. And he's had his limit for 30 minutes now. Probably up to 15 pounds by now, or if not 15, right knocking on the door at it. And just it's a culling exercise from here on out for him. Yeah, there's your comparison with yesterday. 7 fish.
Right on point. Yeah. You think he has the same weight today, Tommy, or a little bit lighter?
I think it's about the same.
About the same?
I think he's got 15 now, and he'll wind up with 16 something. I mean, if he stays and tinkers around with it a little bit, that's the question. How soon is he going to shut her down?
Do it some more.
You know,
What?
I'm starving.
What? What do you mean?
I'm starving. I have not been fed one time.
Oh.
Yes.
You're talking about intellectually fed with some Dick CPAC trivia, perhaps? Yes?
Exactly.
How about this one? How many other B.A.S.S. events have been held on Cherokee Lake? There have been, apparently, or has been. It depends on your answer. 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Okay, so it's either 1, 2, 3, or 4.
That's, 1, 2, 3, or 4 is good. Would have to be your answers.
I'm going to hold at 1.
You're going to hold at 1? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's your answer?
This being number 2.
Okay. So A would be your answer.
Yes.
So how many other
nice
bass
slide guitar.
Wow. I don't think there is a slide guitar. 1 is right.
Hey-o.
You have hit the
Hey-o.
jackpot right there. The 1980
See,
one was a while ago.
What's interesting, Tommy, is maybe you don't know this, but I work for B.A.S.S. I'm sorry. That was a scolded joke.
You're trying to make me feel low, then, weren't you? I
Such,
feel
was
so
that
low.
you? I apologize. Was that your trivia?
Yes.
I loved it.
It was really good. It was really good.
We need more of that Davy Crockett stuff. Whatever that was.
Versus
yesterday.
Daniel Boone.
Yeah.
Yeah, cage match.
What the fish? That was the fish off we talked about yesterday.
I thought we were having like
first ever in Bass history.
It wasn't. We weren't having like a special guest today from Mercer, like Tom Hanks or
an actor and
Paul
a
Newman.
famous.
Oh, yeah.
No, not
yeah,
Paul
yeah.
Newman.
A movie
Big
star.
TV
He
show.
promised a TV star.
The word on the
Really?
street
I may
that
be right then.
the word on the street. The kids are saying is that it's someone from Breaking Bad.
I said Aaron Paul. I don't know why, because I think he might be from that region. I'm not sure though.
Wow. I'm praying it's Nick Lachey.
Who is that?
Who is that?
You don't think it's
And a
Bryan
gun.
Cranston?
Cranston's a little big to be. Well, maybe he'll.
Well, sure. Nobody's too big for the Bassmasters.
Didn't we have at the Little Rock one?
Yeah, the party out there.
Brad from Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
What?
Judge Reinhold.
Oh, that's right.
Straight
sure.
up,
Oh,
he did.
yeah. He's been in the studio here several times.
Brad.
Absolutely. He's a bass fishing
Hey,
fan.
Brad.
Gnarly Hamilton.
We did. That's true.
Yeah. Been in here.
Might change.
The Spider Monkey kid from Talladega Nights.
He's been around.
He's
sure.
been around.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
been creeping around.
I took photos of that kid doing a part of the movie they were shooting.
Alan Jackson, bottom left-hand
That's not
corner.
Alan
right
Jackson,
there.
but it
Oh,
kinda
I thought-
looks like him.
I'm sorry. I thought that was.
Your mind wandered down on the Chattahoochee there for a minute, didn't it?
When daddy let me dry.
Wow. Very early.
You've had guys like a lot of sports guys on your show. What's your greatest touch with celebrity you've ever run into?
Chad Pennington? No.
Listen, he put up a photo. He sent me a photo, and I said it is uncanny how much you look like the Chattahoochee kid, Alan Jackson, with a slice of Sam Elliott.
Look at that.
Look at that.
Oh, my God.
When daddy let me
Sam Elliott came right out.
There is a little, the mustache. That's who you should go for with your mustache.
That
I mean, Shaw,
is
yes, but also Sam Elliott.
Fantastic.
Yep, that's good. Made me laugh to beat the band.
Tighten up, Such. Tighten up. Hey, we were going to talk about this yesterday. While he's I do want to get a question how that.
I wonder if Wiggins is done fishing for the day already again.
But this is as much as, and I know he is stone cold country by the grace of God. His passion. That is.
Oh, now there.
That is.
That's the other part of the equation, right
there.
there.
That is the correct picture, just for everybody at home. Ooh. I want to get a. We need a decal on the deck of his boat. Because that's the Seth fighter I know.
That says under it, Seth is gone.
Seth has gone. There he is. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Trained in karate.
Karate. 32nd degree black belt.
Kurt Russell, The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
There you go, the commissar.
Stop it.
If he'd only catch a fish, we'd stop this. We'd stop this madness, you know.
Sometimes it's better this way, Tom.
Maybe it is. Seriously, congratulations on the mustache efforts working out good.
He said he's not done for the weekend yet either, just so you know.
So many people try a mustache and you wind up looking like Napoleon Dynamite's brother.
Gonna slide back up the lake right now. Jacob Wheeler. He had a little bit of technical issues and mechanical issues in this tournament, but still hanging pretty tough. Slow morning so far, Jacob Wheeler.
Get ready, get ready, get ready. Little one. Little smallmouth. Get over here, you sucker. You won't even keep on length. Dang 14-incher. Oh, yep, be good. That's number one. We gotta get rid of that little sinker, but there's a lot more there with them. Oh, here's another one. A little better one right there. You're fine. Had to go to the sneaky holes, boys. The sneaker deekers. Come here, please be a big one. Feels like a big one. I ain't caught a big one here yet, though. I ain't that big. Get over here, you sucker. Number two. Two-pounder.
13 days pre-practicing, idling this entire lake, he said.
5 days.
No.
You're ready.
Jacob
About to go down
Wheeler.
again. At least I've seen him there.
Tighten up.
Oh, here you come, here you come, here you come.
13 days.
Oh, I didn't come get it. Gosh. Here he's coming.
We'll go pound and a half and two,
Yeah, pound and a half.
and then two on the second one.
No, pound and a quarter and two, yeah. Gosh, dang it. You gotta be kidding. I done lost freaking 3 of them today, 2 of them today.
Well, that's how fast it can happen. That's 3 drops and 3 bites. Not big ones.
Yeah. 2 hours without a keeper, and all of a sudden he's...
Hey, they're biting later, though, Tommy. Like
That's,
you
we
want
like
it.
that. We do
Let's see
like
if we
that.
can slide back down lake right now with your unofficial leader. Well, I'm going to say it's your official leader,
Oh, yes.
actually.
Oh, yes.
Jesse Wiggins.
Definite coal, I think. I don't think it'll help. Too skinny. Dadgummit. It's staying pretty steady. Just in case. I hate to do something dumb.
Wheeler trying to put number 3 in the boat here.
Ooh,
if
that's
it'll
nice
keep.
one. Thing's smallmouth going crazy on me. Dude, there's a megawatt of them here. Come here. Come here. Boom! There we go. Look at that sucker. Look at that eyeball right there. Oh, yeah. There we go. And that sucker was not coming off. I'm just gonna let you know that right now. He was what you call stuck. Come here, buddy. I'm gonna call you by the end of the day, but he's closer to, he's 2 3/4. We'll put you on that side. We got it right now. Try to catch us 5.
That guy is scary good. He made a comment.
You've said that
last night.
before.
He is
Yeah.
scary
Yeah.
good, man. You know, he made a comment. He said, "Look, I stay here for 13 days. Here's the reason why I was here for 13 days. It
Gosh,
wasn't
there's
off
so
limits,
many of 'em
and
here.
I'm supposed to be practicing." Seriously.
Yeah. Hey.
He made a comment that he said, "Look, man, I listened to what Bobby Knight said about practice and practice and practice. And if you connect it to a professional sport," he said, "why would I not?"
Talking about practice, man.
And the other side is, he's one of those anglers that has no holes in the game. Man, if you watch him in match fishing shows he's been in, you get him up shallow, he will beat your teeth in.
It's a matchup. Absolutely. Wiggins on the right, the guy that, you know, dream coming true, and the destroyer of dreams on the left.
Sure.
There, Jacob Wheeler. That's what we look for.
Hey, you've got, if you look at that top 5, you look at the top 10 right now, the guys behind Wiggins are all all
packed.
dream crushers.
Yeah.
Be big. Not.
I still think the really X factor, spooky thing in this tournament is seeing what happened with the Tharps of the world yesterday, the Greg Hackneys, guys that went up that river and dialed in. What Cliff Crochet was not able to do yesterday was those largemouth. And I'm going to tell you that this is, right now, looking at tomorrow's forecast, it's largemouth weather. So,
and Tharp was only.
Look, I'm just trying to build some.
It's a drama.
Tommy,
it's good. It's good. I like that.
Apologize.
Here on a Saturday morning. Come on. Come on. Again, Jesse Wiggins, if you're just tuning in from Cullman, Alabama, rookie out here, fishing in his only his ninth Bassmaster tournament. He's won 2 of the previous 8. How many of those boats are going to stick around and watch him guard his spot?
All
of them? Okay.
I think you've been out there before.
Yep. You're right. You're right.
I'm trying. I need a big one and I'll get out of here.
I know what that music means.
I don't hear any music, but I'll take it. There it is, right there. I'll take your word for it. Means we got to take a break. Hard to take a break. I mean, especially this first 2 hours of the day, just like yesterday. Jesse Wiggins absolutely smashing him at his 15 pounds very early on, about an hour and a half into this thing.
One more bite. One more big one.
One more bite, and he's getting out of it.
Shut her down.
Jacob Wheeler coming on strong. Ott Defoe also moving up the leaderboard. Like the Seth Fighter, Jamie Hartman hanging in there. We'll be back to visit with him too. Take a break and be right back with Bassmaster.
Right. The Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake is brought to you by Shell Rotella, Yamaha, Triton Boats, Toyota, Power Pole, and by Skeeter Boats.
In a world where boring, soundless lures were the norm, comes a lure unlike any other. The fish-catching machine. Livingston Lures are the only lures featuring electronic baitfish sounds that call the fish. Tie one on today and experience the power of the fish-catching machine.
Think you could win valuable prizes from Bassmaster? You can't know unless you enter, and entering is easy. Go to Bassmaster.com. Enter now for a chance to win a fishing trip with 2016 Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year Gerald Swindle. Trip includes airfare, rental car, hotel, and $500 cash. Plus a Triton 17TX bass boat, Mercury engine, and Gerald's gear from Humminbird, Minn Kota, GoPro, and more. You, the winner of a valuable prize? Could be. All you have to do to get your shot is go to Bassmaster.com and enter today and every day. Hey, it could be you.
What is this meeting about again?
Fishing! Took my boat, boom, jumped over it, and I caught a giant. It was like a whale.
29 pounds, baby!
That's the last time I danced on stage.
Wow. Chief Fishing Officer.
How do I get that job?
I don't know.
Go to teamgtfishing.com to find out more about my real job.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Got one more hour.
How about Jacob Wheeler? Jacob Wheeler in the last 30 minutes was kind of slow and painful and a bit of a grind. And here's what can happen fishing deep on Cherokee Lake. In about 10 to 15 minutes, you can get yourself well, and you can get yourself back in the top 5.
Definitely a lot more to come here from this lake today. We've got another hour of coverage on the way till we take a break. As we did yesterday for about an hour and a half.
Look at that. Look at that eyeball right there. Oh,
yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Jacob Wheeler working his way back near the top of the leaderboard there.
Well, guys, the morning has been a little bit slower than expected, but fortunately, we just got to pull up on a place that's got them. Problem is, these suckers get goofy. I lost one, actually lost 2, which is not a good thing when you're messing with smallmouth. They tend to get a little bit goofy when you hook one of their buddies and then they get to see him again. They don't really tell on you, so it's not very good. But right now, I caught him dropping that little minnow and that little moon eye on the first 3. Now I picked up a 360 GT swim bait and trying to wind that through him and just get off him a little bit. The pressure might have messed with him a little bit and just sort of see what we can do. But this spot wasn't necessarily a hammer spot, it was just a limit spot. You know, I caught some fish here yesterday when I was struggling. I only had 3. I came and caught some really nice fish, or just a couple fish to really calm me down. So, you know, so far this morning I've been messing around a little bit and graphing new places. I've seen some bait in a couple areas, and one place actually had too much bait where you couldn't even get it around, you couldn't even see the fish. It just blacked out the whole screen. So I tried to fish there for a minute, I could never get a bite, and it was sort of weird, but we're gonna see if we can't catch another one of these dang smallmouth.
Well, I'd like him to walk through how he graphed this lake for 2 weeks. And to describe what a sneak hole is. Yeah, seriously, he's been using that term.
I know.
I'd like to know what a sneak hole is.
Question from the studio. Mark's on it. Describe how you graph this lake in practice.
I literally, for me personally, what I did, you know, there's a lot of places. The first 3 days I was down here, I messed around and I didn't catch them at all. It wasn't good. I caught a few fish. I didn't really understand what they were on, you know, and some of it's obvious stuff, but a lot of the stuff's not that obvious. So once I started to get an idea of what these fish get out here on, I mean, I literally got on my Navionics app on my phone and marked like 400 places with just a little mark, just like basically to go back and check those areas and graph those areas. And then, you know, once I figured it out even more and dialed it even more, I would mark a couple more, because at the end of the day, what ends up happening is when you're out there practicing, for me personally, like, it's hard to see what's on your graph and see those little subtle points or the small little ditches and all that stuff. So I'll mark that on my phone and literally, and literally just go back and and fish those places. So that's what's worked for me. I graphed pretty much the whole dang lake.
Okay, so well, here's my question. What did they find? What did he find?
Yeah.
A sneaker hole. I wouldn't call this a sneaky hole. A sneak hole is something off the wall. Means it's not on your map chips or anything. And that means you got to grab a whole bunch of garbage, not productive looking stuff to find a place like that, which is very time consuming because you're graphing stuff that's not high percentage. But when you do find a dang sneak hole, they tend to bite pretty good because they don't see a lure. Come on up, you stinking sucker. Literally, these guys are playing games. Bite it. Bite it. Bite it. Gosh. Gosh, dang it. Them suckers biting that thing was so weird right now. I don't get that. Yeah, that's fine. So what I'm throwing right here, here's a little moon eye, BMC moon eye, with a little GT360, a Storm GT360 swim bait. Gosh, dude, them suckers, they doinking it too.
Well, David Mullen's making a move there. Things have slowed down for him. Really haven't gotten going, rolling for him. Most of these, except for Seth Feider, who's down there close to the dam, these guys not too far from one another at this point.
No, and really the other side of that is, if you watched a lot of the, Jacob Wheeler, Seth Feider, their days yesterday were not fireworks off the start.
Not at all.
It's almost like it built after lunch for those.
For Feider, yeah.
Exactly.
Jamie Hartman with a couple of fish and then kind of fell silent for a while.
Hey, Such, what was that sweet stat that you dropped on us? How many rookies made the...
8 of the 11.
8 of the 11 rookies.
Cashed their first check in their first event.
Wheeler tying on something, yet another option there. A white marabou hairy jig looking thing with it.
Well, I encourage anybody to have a time.
Huh?
Besides that, to go to the photo gallery from the Marshalls.
Oh my gosh.
And there are a couple daggum stud smallmouth that have got caught this morning. Josh Bertrand.
Having a good tournament, he is.
A couple real big smallmouth, a couple bonus largemouth. Mike McClelland.
We've yet to see our first largemouth today.
You know, the next time that we get Davey on the phone, I know his, and he's a man that sticks to his guns.
Yeah.
I know his pick for AOY was Brett Hite.
Mm-hmm.
Brett had a tough tournament.
He did.
I believe he was 100. And
yeah, not good.
See if I just want to check if Davey's gonna stick to that, or if he's gonna truly join the team and just waffle all over the field.
Yeah, just whip back and forth in front of the windshield like a...
I'm staying where I'm at.
Okay.
I'm staying Greg Hackney. Okay. I think I will tell you, now that I've... Oh, the other one in there that's hungry for it and he's always in it. It's Keith Combs.
Yeah.
Right?
He didn't shut himself out of this one.
Combs.
Not at all. Not
Newly
at all.
married.
Yeah.
Right?
Got a big classic coming up. Woo-hoo. Not that has anything to do with the Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year, but...
You just think you're going to see one of those years that, you know, we always say one of those magical years, and he's the kind of guy that could do that, really.
Here's another name.
Go.
We'll throw it in there.
Yeah.
This will shock you.
Yeah, I don't know.
Gerald Swindle.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. Back-to-backs? Going KVD on us here?
The beard?
The beard and everything?
Everything.
The Brian Wilson beard look? Man,
no thanks.
Loving all that.
John Cruz, solid largemouth in the... I'll tell you another one in this tournament that you've got to watch right now, who was on nothing after practice, Brandon Polinick.
Oh, God. He's been the only thing resembling competition for Jesse Wiggins this morning, that's for sure. Well, now Adifo kind of jumped in there, but before about an hour ago, he was the only guy with serious pursuit. Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. It's so it gets more interesting every day. I mean, and how is it going to be skewed by the next tournament? You say this is going to bring in a bunch of those old reliable names, right?
I think whenever you go to Okeechobee, I think that is just one of those lakes where history and it just helps. A lot of those fish down there, you know, and it's understanding the mud, it's understanding the movement of those fish and the timing of those fish. I definitely think anytime you go to Okeechobee, the same old players catch them.
It's, you know, easier to say now than it would have been before this tournament started, but I can tell you right now,
yeah,
if we get 5 events into this season and Randall Tharp's not in the top 5, I'd be very surprised.
Here's the only thing that scares me about Tharp. Here's the only thing that scares me about Tharp this year.
Okay.
We got a lot of smallmouth lakes coming, bud.
But that's, I'm talking about the first 5.
No,
Yeah. First
absolutely.
5, if he's not in the top 5 at that point.
Absolutely. What?
What was that?
I don't know.
And anybody who wants that trophy, though, I mean, I would say till further notice, every season's going to be a smallmouth extravaganza.
There's a bunch of
wrap-up,
bait back
right?
here with the fish.
The last
There's a
2
few
or 3
fish,
events.
but ain't
I
bite.
think so.
Yeah. So,
Unless we went back to that Alabama River.
yeah.
I know Trip Wilden's hoping so. Oh, it's too early to pick on Trip in the season. No, it's not. No, it's not.
God.
Pick on Trip and Hank.
No,
it's a joke. It's a
Hank,
scolded
that's
joke.
not fair.
Love him.
He's not
Love
in.
him.
He's not in this tournament here.
Quad bar.
Although he has influenced many of the young men who've performed well.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Here's
absolutely.
So true. The Elite Series has been the final stopping point of so many college anglers
Oh my
now.
gosh, yeah.
That's a good look at the most vertical fishing tournament we will ever
Oh
cover.
my gosh, is it not?
Of 4 anglers
I mean, this
staring at their graph, not casting. There has not been a cast for, I think we've seen 1 cast today by Jacob Wheeler.
Yep, crappie-thon.
Yep.
Defo, the closest pursuer right now to Jesse Wiggins, bumping up close to 14 pounds now. Matt Herron's slipped into the top 5, but even with that, he's 10 pounds back of Wiggins as it stands right now. All the top 4 with 5 fish limits.
Well, this is about when it slowed down yesterday. Checking on a couple things right now, though. A couple treats.
Yeah.
Tommy, I think what we're going to do later today, see if we can get a couple anglers on the line that did not make the cut.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
Again, some huge surprises.
Yeah.
Who's your biggest surprise that did not make the cut?
Van Dam, that surprised me. Always going to surprise you.
Such?
Ayler after his big fall.
Yes.
Really surprised at that.
I'm going to throw one.
Yep.
Porosnik.
Yeah, right. Just barely missed it.
I mean, come on.
Casey Ashley. Yeah. David Walker. I mean, it goes without saying you'd expect he would. Here we go. David Mullins, much needed.
This is a dangerous one.
Yeah. He didn't just miss it.
It's pretty big. We're live, people. We're live, and we got a big old live smallmouth right here. If I can get this sucker in. Sure, Zona's sitting there sipping on his coffee with Tommy. And we got us a smallmouth. How about that? Hey, look here. Well, we've had 30 of them come look at it. And we finally got us an old brown. How about that? You want a little bit of that? Give me some of that, man, huh? We got 30 spectator boats, and we gave them nothing all morning long till right then.
Hey, doing a Zona show with him this year.
Are you really?
Yeah, I talked to him.
Nice. You doing it in Tennessee?
See if I'm not sure who's in his boat, but
I haven't checked this spot all week. I didn't even check it in practice. I didn't know what was here, so I didn't know if I'd be wasting 30 minutes, but there's a bunch of them here. I just can't, that's the only one so far I've got to bite. We'll keep letting the wind blow us around and see what happens. I don't know why my first stop's still live. We still live?
Oh, yeah.
First stop didn't pan out. Caught, one decent one, one little one. I don't know what the deal is. But we keep grinding away. I wish I had a speaker where I could hear what Z's saying right now. You know what I'm saying? Z's kind of like the Ric Flair of fishing. No matter how hard he hits it, he wakes up next morning, his hair's just pristine. You know what I'm saying?
What? Wait, what's that?
Hold on. Hold on. What am I missing? What am I missing?
Know that.
Explain that comment.
Well, we heard about it. We'd be all right too.
He seems rather relaxed.
The only thing about this technique, it just takes so long to cover any water because you're pretty much letting the wind blow you around, or you're trying to keep this thing underneath the troll motor. So.
Hey, listen, I'm gonna tell you something, Sanders. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how hard I hit it or get after it.
I know. You're like Ric Flair. You come up
pristine as I'll get.
Mike Sukon, you know what I call him? I call him the Iron Sheik of bass fishing.
Oh, that is so great. And I will get after it. If you don't, you know it, Tommy.
When I think of getting after it, I think of you, old Ric Flair. Hard to believe David Mullins is out here, his 4th year already. Seems like he just got out here. Time flies so fast.
Hey, Tommy, what do you say I feed us up and get after a little bit of hummingbird lay of the lake?
Oh, definitely.
Exactly right.
Take a new place.
Flyover. Parade of our leaders right now. Brandon Polinick, Seth Fighter fishing closest to our takeoff. Then a couple miles right there. But coming into this tournament, David Mullins said, trust me, you're going to know the key stretch of where these smallmouths live, because a lot of your top 20 will be in 1 2-mile to 3-mile stretch of this lake. Well, looking at it, David Mullins was spot on. Jesse Wiggins at Defoe, David Mullins flying a little bit more up the lake. Jamie Hartman at Heron having yet another solid smallmouth tournament. Jacob Wheeler, like David Mullins, doesn't sound like those two anglers are going to run out of fishing spots.
No. Russ Lane back in that creek, still in that same
Hidey
mid-lake
hole.
section right there.
Hidey
Hidey
hole.
hole, little hidey hole, little
Right.
Tennessee hidey
But
hole.
some of our anglers hanging in there, holding ground. Get more into the river system. Cherokee Lake. Still flying.
Yeah, those guys up there maybe got
John
the smallmouth.
Cruz. John Cruz fishing largemouth.
John Cruz having a fantastic tournament. Do not count him out all season long. All these guys dealing with, like we say, it's a different tournament just about every day. Dealing with conditions has been one of the main tasks you have to deal with here at Cherokee.
No matter how hard you get after it.
You pretty much wake up, see what the weather's going to do, and go pick your day from there. So it's nothing's predictable here, and it's definitely a lake that can crush your dreams, that's for sure.
Come here and stay on. Come here and stay on. Come here and stay on. Come here. Come here. Yeah, buddy.
I think the smallmouth bite's getting worse every day, and the largemouth bite's getting better every single day.
Skinny Tennessee smallmouth.
Boom, baby! God, I just want to stay in there 2 more days. Up to you, Mom, number 5.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Continually proven on the tournament trail and with Skeeter owners everywhere with 14 consecutive NMMA CSI Consumer Satisfaction Awards. Our competition doesn't even come close. Right now, buy, save, fish with up to $1,500 in instant rebates through March 31st, including the newly redesigned limited edition FX series. Now is the best time to buy, save, fish. Skeeter.
Is there a place where the underwater images are the clearest you've ever seen? We're seeing every fish, we're seeing every detail of structure, and where every bottom contour was visible, where whatever you wanted to see below the surface was real. Do you want to go? Structure Scan 3D is the future of fishing. We can show you how to find fish faster and catch fish in a way you've never experienced. Let's get them.
The competition is fierce and the prizes are huge. The only thing missing is you. Fantasy Fishing presented by Toyota. Sign up for free and face fans from across the nation. Grand prize winner receives a Triton Yamaha package including a Triton 189 TRX. MSRP of $37,293. The classic and each individual elite event winner will receive $2,500 Bass Pro Shops gift cards, with the runner-up receiving a GoPro Hero 4 black camera. Sign up and pick your team today at Bassmasterfantasy.com.
Your choice of fishing apparel can make or break your day out on the water. Added mesh vents for superior breathability. Moisture transport cooling technology to keep you dry and comfortable. And antimicrobial to keep you from smelling like your catch. With added SPF to keep you protected. We've added stain release to keep the blood or any other stains at bay. Our most technologically advanced fishing shirt for all the necessary dirty work.
Facts matter. All monofilament is not the same. Berkeley is the strongest, smoothest, most dependable monofilament line in the world. Why would you risk your fishing trip to a line that's made who knows where just to save a buck? Berkeley has been making and perfecting trilene in America for over 75 years. I spool nothing less than the best. That's Berkeley trilene, and that is a fact.
You're watching the Bassmaster Elite at Cherokee Lake, being brought to you live by Berkeley.
Into our third hour of fishing, Bassmaster Live. First event of the year for the Bassmaster Elite Series on Cherokee Lake in East Tennessee, just east of the Knoxville area on the Holston River as it heads down to become, a little bit later, a little further down the road, the mighty Tennessee River. There's been a mighty effort so far from this rookie out here, Jesse Wiggins, just as he did yesterday, starting early and excelling early, loading his boat. Once again, just exactly like yesterday, same timetable in an hour and 15 minutes.
B.A.S.S. Dadgum Alabama stud. Big morning yesterday.
You remember those acronyms?
That's exactly right, Tom.
DGAS.
Yes.
Man's a DGAS. I like that.
Thank you.
You know that's pretty good.
I'm seeing what I can do, friend. That's exactly right. Big morning for Jesse Wiggins. He lost that one right there, but, well, it would go on to not matter at all.
Absolutely. He'll catch him later anyway.
Catch him tomorrow.
Tomorrow, right.
And in his words, there's 500 beneath his boat, and he's going to only, it appears, need 5 more solid ones tomorrow.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, you know, it's laid out. The pathway is clear for Jesse Wiggins to walk into a victory as it stands right now, but who knows who's going to light it up. Maybe someone lights it up the same way in the next hour. Maybe they do it in the last hour of today. I think we're out of the business of handing over tournaments to guys before noon on Sunday.
No, we are.
We're still in that business. Are we still open for business, ladies and gentlemen? Come on in.
We'll still do that.
Okay.
We're pretty good at that.
You know,
Mercer gets really mad when we crown a champion.
He really does. He's not reckless like we are. He's always thought out. He's measured.
Reckless,
yes. He thinks things
downright
through before
pissed.
he talks.
He gets pissed if we call a champion before that weigh-in.
Can we crank up the Triton on the line machine? Get Dave. There he is, right there. Dave has made his way back to. Yeah, hey Dave, we haven't explained yet today what's going to happen with the weigh-ins today and tomorrow. It's a whole different deal, right?
He's mad at you right now.
He's not.
Who can be mad at Tommy Sanders? I mean, nobody can be mad at Tommy Sanders.
Everybody's friendly grandpa.
To steal your lines on it, it's like being mad at the Easter Bunny, right? I mean, you can't be mad at Tommy Sanders. But here is the whole deal. Whole different deal here this weekend. We move this event indoors. That's right, indoors right here in the Knoxville Convention Center. And right behind me, you can see the expo just getting set up behind here. There's tons of stuff you're going to be able to see and do here throughout the day. So make sure to get down here. The doors open at noon. At noon today, Knoxville Convention Center. It's free of charge. Come on in here. It's a sports show. It's a boat show. It's everything all combined. A lot of our pros are going to be hanging out here. So if you want to ask some fishing questions, make sure to get down here at noon. Now we're going to hang out here from noon till 4 o'clock, but then it all cranks up at 4 o'clock. We're right behind me, in front of me right here, right behind the camera. You see our Elite Series stage is set up for the first 2 days of this weigh-in. Obviously, we have hung out on the open stage, basically. Well, a 2-stage event, obviously. We're here. It's the weekend. We've cut it down to 51, and the best of the best going to battle it out, and we will crown our first champion of the 2017 Bassmaster Elite Series season right here on Sunday afternoon. So, indoor weigh-in. No more complaining about the cold, no more dealing with it. I mean, actually warming up out there today. And that was one of the big stories this morning, guys. A lot of people talking about just how kind of reinvigorated they were. And I'm going to tell you, you've got to watch those largemouth guys. I mean, with this warming trend and with the weather conditions that we're seeing, you have to believe that is going to play into the ballpark of our largemouth guys as we move into Championship Sunday, as we try to get through to Championship Sunday. You got guys like Tharp making giant charges, and also those local guys. I mean, those local guys, they've got largemouth. They've got smallmouth. They're not committed to just one thing. So it is going to be very, very interesting. But the story of this tournament, if you ask me, it's Rookie Fest. I mean, when is it? I don't remember, and I don't know if this is a true stat, but I don't know anyone that'll tell me it's wrong. I don't remember ever. Generally, we go to the first event, and we usually have a handful of rookies. We've got 11 this year. Usually 11 to 15 rookies in the field. Generally, 1 or 2 of them make the cut. That 1 or 2 of them have a big lead on Rookie of the Year throughout the rest of the season. 8 out of our 11 rookies have already made a 50 cut on the Elite Series. If that doesn't tell you how strong our rookie field is this year, I don't know what does.
Dave Mercer, Triton Boats on the line right now.
Yep.
2 things, Dave. One of them being, I know it's a rough weekend on you. Your daughter, Cadence's birthday is
Happy
this
birthday,
week.
Cadence.
Happy birthday. Number one. And number two, and this is for anybody that doesn't know how the Bassmaster works, Such, we've got a lot of questions about this. Explain to the folks at home, the smallmouth come to where you're at, they get weighed in, but where do they go from there?
Well, we have our Shimano live release boats at all of our events, and obviously the utmost importance at every single one of our events is to take care of the stars of the show. And some people will think that's the anglers, but it's not the anglers, it is the fish. So all of our fish go back in the live release boat, and they're taken back out and distributed back on the water. And in that live release boat, it's not just a regular live well. I mean, they are treated with different substances that they'll put in the water to protect any ailments or anything on those fish. You know, a lot of times a fish will get a cut or something like that. Well, they don't have medicine like we have, but we give them a little medicine. In a lot of cases, those fish go back in the water in better shape after they were weighed in than they were taken out of the water just because of their time with our biologists. But they are all put back in the water and there for you guys to catch for years and years to come.
So they go, and this is the big question, they go back to Cherokee. They don't go to like Chickamauga or Barkley or something like that.
Barkley? What? That'd be a long trip.
Hey,
no, they do
people
not.
Ask
They
the
go right
people
back to. Well, and we answered. They go right back to where they came from, basically. And what they'll do is they'll distribute them throughout the lake. And they've spent a lot of time studying this and the optimum locations. I mean, we know Gene Gilland, our biologist, works for Bass. They spent a lot of time figuring out where the right area is to release these fish so they distribute through the lake. And they go back and they are there. So we answered the question, Z.
Thank you.
Dave, you may have laid this out and I missed it. Give us the timetable for this afternoon, what time they wrap it up on the lake and how long it takes this caravan to get back and you can start weighing fish in.
First fish is going to be weighed at 4 o'clock here. I believe they check in at 3:20 this afternoon. We have a staggered check-in. Obviously, on Saturday, we send them out 20 minutes apart. The first 26 went out, and then the following group went out 20 minutes later. So I believe our first check-in is at 3:20 and then 3:40, and they will be back in here weighing the first fish at 4 o'clock is our plan. And this place is going to be packed. I mean, and we've had some loud weigh-ins, but when you get indoors in a smaller venue like this, we're going to blow the roof off this place today. I mean, we've had incredible crowds for our first two weigh-ins, really, and it was snowing on day one, and yesterday was not that much nicer. I mean, we had a little bit of sun, so I'm pretty excited to see what kind of crowd we can get now that we're actually downtown in beautiful Knoxville.
Yeah, and you mentioned just a moment ago, you said, hey,
4 o'clock
4 o'clock, you said there's no more complaining about the cold weather. I want the record to show that Mark Zone and I, neither one have complained about the cold weather one single bit during the course of this.
Freezing in this studio.
But see, that's the first time. That's the first time.
That you have.
I can tell it's cold. I mean, I believe it's so cold in the studio, Zona actually had to wear shoes for this shoot. I mean, that'll tell you how cold it is in that studio. And I want to thank you guys. I mean, because, you know, it's easy for us here at the events. I mean, you know, we're with the best anglers in the world, and we're all hanging out here, but I know it's tough for you guys in the studio, and you guys, I mean, you soldier on. You never, ever complain. And,
Not at all.
Yep,
Not hard on us at all, to be honest with you. Hey, Dave.
Yeah.
Hey, one question we'd love. We know that we're going to be able to, and we know you're going to be able to talk to a lot of the anglers. And gosh, Rob Newell, who's been one of the best writers in the business, a lot of us are wondering if we can get to the bottom of why have we not seen one drop shot fish at all in this tournament?
I'm going to ask that today on stage a lot. You know, that's a great question because honestly, me and Davey, when we were on day one, we asked the same thing, and we were actually watching guys fish and assumed several of them were fishing a drop shot because obviously it's pretty tough to tell when you see the way they're just looking at their graph and you just assume they look like they're fishing a drop shot. We have not seen any of that, and I do not have an answer for you, but I will guarantee if you tune in the weigh-in, we will get you an answer for that because, you know, you would assume everybody talking about Demiki rig, and that's a big deal here, but you would assume there would be several drop shotters catch them, but I have not seen one angler catch a fish on a drop shot here this week. Not saying it hasn't happened, but I haven't seen it.
But one thing that is interesting, and this is just a fact, and Dave, you know this, I've grown up fishing 34 to 45 degree water vertical, at least in the state of Michigan and Indiana. They do not bite a drop shot in that temperature of water for some reason. A little bit, but very, very, very rarely.
And up there, why do they say they won't bite a drop shot?
Look, I just put it down there and they don't bite the thing.
You don't know why?
I don't know why, but there's way more consistent baits. It seems when you get above 52, they'll start biting it better.
That's odd. Hey, Dave, I don't want to waste an opportunity. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, Z, because people have been asking me this. I've spent a lot of time fishing for smallmouth, but most of the smallmouth I've fished for in my life are the dumb ones, my favorite kind, the dumb ones up north. And a lot of anglers have been comparing the smallmouth down here versus a northern smallmouth. Can you tell me what you think the difference is? Is it the same deal, or are they a totally different species?
I think they are a totally 1,000% different monster when you get down south. To me, these fish act way more like spotted bass. Whether you go to a Smith Lake or you go to a Lanier, even the smallmouth that are on Table Rock throughout the Ozark Lakes. Those fish, to me, they are way more finicky. They have a way more tendency to move around than
tendency to move around.
Yes, absolutely. And the other thing is, they don't. What I've learned about southern smallmouth compared to a lot of their northern counterparts, the smallmouth down here do not like when you kidnap one of their buddies. You kidnap a few of their buddies, they will shut down quick, to where a northern smallmouth tends to get pissed off for an hour or two, and you can catch every.
And then he's wiped clean.
Right, you just catch every one of them. To me, a southern smallmouth has a much bigger tendency to act like a spot than a northern smallmouth.
Well, let me ask you this, Dave. Your opinion on this is important because we just saw Jesse catch another fish right there. Jesse Wiggins, sifting through now, trying to upgrade incrementally as we go through there. I mean, if he stays on this track, no one really gets close to him within 4 or 5 pounds of him. I mean, it's going to have to be, pretty much someone's got to do a largemouth Hail Mary on the final day in order to have a chance, right?
Unless we see that flurry. Dave.
Unless we see that flurry. What's going to happen? How does it play out in your mind, Dave?
I agree. I mean, I said to Ott and Ott's dad this morning, I was talking to Ott, and I said, that stuff I was talking about on stage about you guys being in the perfect spot yesterday? You're sitting in the weeds, inside the top 10, but not really a lot of pressure on you, ready to make that charge. I said, today's the day you need to make that charge. If he goes out there, with a 4-pound lead, it's going to be very, very difficult to catch him. But as we saw with Randall Tharp, weighed in 12 pounds day one, and the biggest bag of the tournament yesterday, 20 pounds. Things can change in a hurry, but everybody's telling me Wiggins is going to catch him. They said he is going to catch him. Every local that knows that area, and as I've said several times, it's a very well-known area. Every single local has told me Jesse is going to catch him today, which he's already done, and he is going to catch him tomorrow. So these guys are going to have to make a giant charge today, but they got to watch, obviously, Randall Tharp, to make such a big charge in our leaderboard, and he was pretty jacked yesterday. I talked to him after weigh-in, and he was a little down in the dumps on day one, but day two proved why, because he knew what he could get. You thought with 12 pounds, hey, you're not so bad, but he knew he had that opportunity of catching a 20-pound bag. So when you're looking for 20 and you catch 12, you're never a happy camper. But Randall Tharp's definitely a scary cat to watch, but unless Jesse Wiggins slips up, I'm not calling it, but it's going to be tough to catch him. And think about it. I said it this morning. He leads everything in Bassmaster basically right now. He's He's already qualified for the 2017 Classic. He's the only person on earth qualified for the 2018 Classic. He's leading Toyota Bassmaster Angler of the Year. He's leading the Rookie of the Year. It's his.
What else is there?
He's the king of the world right now.
Vote for Jesse Wiggins. Absolutely.
Yeah, basically.
Triton Live on the line. Dave Mercer in Knoxville, getting us ready
Special
for
guest.
yes, yeah. Tease. Are we still sort of in the ballpark? We're still looking forward to our special mystery guest this afternoon.
He is. It has been confirmed. Producer Ben Oliver, a crack producer Ben Oliver, been beating the streets, wearing a trench coat and running up and down the streets looking for a special guest. He said it's the first event of the year. We need to have something big, and he has procured such a guest, a major star from a major hit show in the last 10 years, a record-breaking show, an award-winning show, is going to be here. We thought he was going to be here this morning, but you know how those big-time Hollywood dudes are. Going to be here at 12:30 with, and also we're going to have David Walker here, Sevierville, Tennessee's very own David Walker here at 12:30. So make sure to tune in and make sure to get down here. Doors open at noon, and the weigh-in starts at 4 o'clock.
Yeah, write it down. Write it down.
I
Dave
was
Mercer.
really hoping. Number one, thank you, Dave Mercer.
Thank you, Dave.
Number
Great
two,
job.
I was praying. You know how I am with Ivanka Trump. You know,
Oh, God.
I don't like her. I
Smitten.
love her. It's smitten. Smitten. I get goo. I don't know. Is that what the kids say? Yes.
Yes.
And it seems like my hopes have been shattered.
Well, I guess you're right.
Jesse Wiggins hooked up live again.
Oh my gosh.
I hate to say it. I think he's getting. close
Oh
to
my
being done.
God.
Yep. It's the one.
Oh.
There we go.
Catch him, we're out of here. That's a 4 there. God, come on, baby. That's a good one. God, I hope he stays on. Stay away from that motor, baby. Oh, he's tangled and he is a monster. Oh God. Don't swim off. Yeah! Woo! God! My line is wrapped around him 10 times. That's got to be a 4. Huh? Yeah. Close. Gotta be close. Is that loud in your ear when I yell like that? Okay. Sorry, I was like, man, I was just asking for a 4-pounder and man, I caught it. It's crazy. I'm trying to just make sure I call the right one. I'd say if you're gonna dial it in, I'd say 3 3/4 just to be on, because I mean he's skinny, but he's bigger than the rest of them, and I know them others are 3/3. So. Right. I mean it's gonna be close now. Man, that's just a sweet spot right there. I don't know what it is, but I got 2 that weighed the same on a scale, so I'm just gonna put them on the beam. Nope. Did I have that? Oh, that one had a pin on it. No wonder it weighed heavier. I was like, I know my scales ain't all that bad. Don't flop. Man, I've seen Swindle lose by an ounce one time, so I can't. Just got to make sure. Three.
You know, yesterday morning I would have said this is, just like he's saying, this looks like a likely event that an ounce or two could decide the winner, but the more we get into today, the more I'm thinking that it could be a completely different story at the end of tomorrow.
No, but I agree with one thing that Mercer said was if he walks out here with a 3.5 to 4 pound lead, it's going to be almost impossible to catch him tomorrow.
We've seen plenty of highlight. He is the human highlight reel of this tournament.
Well, you can watch it over and over and over again,
Jesse
Tommy.
Wiggins once over and over again. That's why we have the Power Pole replay of the day. Would you like to see that?
Oh, the day.
You want to take any guess as to who it features?
Yeah.
Okay. Who is it?
How about I throw this at you? Jesse Wiggins.
Okay.
And you can really just play his first 2 hours of fishing yesterday and his first 2 hours of today, and it has been complete dominance. The other thing that we got to learn, at least so far this morning, as he applies a little bit more pressure, there are potentially a lot more fish than maybe any of us thought, but listening to him, he knows there is a solid load here. I am curious to see if he puts maybe a little more pressure on it after lunch to make sure they're biting a little. I don't know.
Well, we'd like to see that for sure. I don't want him to, hang it up right now. The most rested man at the end of the day today will definitely be this guy, Jesse Wiggins, because he hasn't put in any more than a 3-hour day any of the day.
For our Power Pole replay of the day, two things. Hashtag so blessed and hashtag so thankful.
What is wrong with you?
What?
I don't understand you. You're talking some gibberish I don't understand. Snap face.
What?
I don't know.
Hashtag, man.
Hashtag. I'm all hashtag.
Oh, that's a big one. What a morning.
Good morning. Just like yesterday. Great. Jamie Hartman, David Mullins. We've got everybody's had their moments this morning.
Hey, look at this. Oh, yeah, that's an old Brian.
Big old bass there from David Mullins. He needed that one.
Don't know that I'd count him out, though, bud.
No, not at all. Not at this place.
No.
I mean, this is a place where he rules, and got a little flash of brilliance from this guy as well, Jacob Wheeler.
Look at that.
After a slow morning, knocking out 3 keepers.
Yeah, there we go.
Short order. He's not done for today. He put in his homework, as we found out. Seth Fighter started a little bit better than he did yesterday.
Still waiting for some fireworks from him today yet, Brian.
Yeah. Well, he gave us some yesterday.
Oh, my God.
In the PM.
Yeah! Woo! That's got to be a 4.